Okay, I'm here with Tymon Shipp, and he's an amazing comedian and politically minded fellow who is the was a key member of the Koz Effect, my political talk show, and tried to be a mix of all types of politics. But then he went on and stayed as the most regular sidekick on or panel member on Let's Be Treasonable, which was Dr. Dave's spin-off show that does shows from the left, looking at the news from the left every week. And you guys are still doing that show, so that's awesome. So anyway, so Tymon, I believe we met, I think, because I saw you at the Ice House.
Yeah, Ice House
performing.
Comedy Club. Ice House
Yeah.
Comedy Club.
Yeah, and I thought you were like a really, I thought you were really funny, and I was looking for, I mean, just I might as well just state the obvious because I told you at the time, I was
Right.
looking for a new Black panelist on my show, because the previous, not that I ever wanted to just have one Black panelist at a time. I had two or three at some points, but the previous main regular Black male from the show was moving on, and we always called him. It turns out he didn't like it. He won't do an interview, but so I'll leave his name out. But he didn't want to. He didn't like being called the angry Black man. And at the time, he would laugh about it. I had no idea because he really was this guy. He was like a Sam Jackson personality.
Right.
But the thing was, I brought you in because I saw you as oh God, I just realized this sounds bad. At the time, I was like, oh, this guy's like a Cosby with politics. And so without all the Cosby personal life stuff, of course. So anyway, we called you the Black voice of reason on the show because you were a much calmer guy. So anyway, so any thoughts about how we met and being asked to do the show, like, how you agreed to do it?
Well, when I came off stage, I mean, I saw you out in the hallway area at the Ice House, and you approached me and introduced yourself and asked me would I be willing to do a podcast, which I had not done one. I hadn't done a podcast. I think that I probably did one with those people I hadn't been in contact with, and but this was a political podcast with comedians, which I had not done. And I said, sure, I'll try it out, give it a shot. And it was something, it got you, it was almost like a mic, because we're speaking on a mic, and everything, and comedians need mic time. So I used it also as a mic time to work on, almost as a comedic type of deal, like I would be doing an open mic or whatever, but only you having a conversation about what's going on in the world. And so I didn't, I heard about the other comic and the other brother that you guys had on, and he was cool. I didn't, I understood why he got angry because of the different folks that he was dealing with and the insane crap that they were saying, and that pissed him off. So I got that. I just don't allow it to go that far for me. Not to say I won't go off or get upset. I pick my battles, and if I just see you're an idiot, I'm not gonna, I've gotten to the point now, even with all the Trump stuff, I just don't even do it. It's like someone telling me they're not going to get a vaccine. And I go, okay. And then, no, I really want to talk to you about it. No. There's no need to explain. I'm not going to have that conversation. I look at it, Carl, I'm a 56-year-old guy. And if you don't get it by now, that the virus doesn't care, no one. So why have this conversation? Let it go. I don't want to have that conversation because it doesn't benefit me. And all of a sudden, then I waste that energy and mind you, I've talked to a lot of highly educated, highly intellectual people who are telling me they're not going to get a vaccine. And then they want me to explain. I said, there's no need to explain. I don't want to talk about it. And I don't care what color they are. It can be black, white, don't matter. I've heard them all. Cubans, all of them. They've all tried to explain to me like you're going to judge them. And I said, no. That's your call. But if the virus gets your ass, understand, virus doesn't care. I found it real because my baby sister got sick and ended up in the hospital, and I had a cousin die from it. I'm getting the vaccine. Okay, now you might say, oh God, here comes, you're making the vaccine into a boogeyman and all the conspiracy theories and there's a growth going to come out of your brain and all this is not. No, I'm not paying attention to that. I'm going to let that go. So that's my thought process on it. Yeah.
Okay. So what did you feel about the attempt? What I was hoping to do, although I know I'm admitting in this documentary that we never reached mass success, but a lot of people appreciated the attempts that we made on various shows. But my goal was to try and do a flip side. Not that I'm anywhere near as good as him, but do like a flip side of Bill Maher, where he's a liberal that lets conservatives on and lets them speak their mind. And I was a conservative that was trying to let liberals speak their mind and have an open discussion. And quite a few other people have mentioned, including the other regulars from the show, that they thought it was really rare. For that nowadays, it's at least now it's really rare that everybody's totally polarized, and it seems that only conservatives will do conservative shows and only liberals do liberal shows, and that probably nobody's trying to do what we did anymore, or very rarely. Any thoughts on that?
Well, you did have a few. Remember, you had a couple of conservatives on.
Oh no, that was my goal. What I meant was I tried to have everybody.
Right, but I mean that's not being done right now. And it was working. We had some battles, and sorry about that. I'm sorry about that.
That's cool. We'll edit.
Yeah, so what happened there?
You're fine.
Okay, can you see me? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah. So you said we had some battles.
Yeah, we had some battles. Where'd my screen go though?
I see you. I don't know.
Well, yeah, as I make my screen bigger. That didn't make my screen bigger. Oh, shit. I'll say this. Yeah, we had some battles, but it was really good, Carl. I mean, we made some progress. We did a lot of good stuff. We really did. And I thought that, whatever you were, I don't know if you, what's your thoughts? Like, we were downtown. I thought the office building area was great. I look forward to going down there to have it. And even when it was at your place, it was, we'd have coffee in the morning and then we'd go up. I thought that was great. So it did, in a way, really feel like, we were doing the things that we wanted to do. It was really working out.
Okay. So then, what? How do you feel about the changeover to Let's Be Treasonable? We switched because, well, okay, to be honest with you, like at the time, I didn't know what to think of Trump. I voted the Libertarian guy, and then I wound up liking him for a while, which I know it's crazy. And then I wound up not liking him after I woke up on January 6th and was like, whoa, what's up with us? But anyway, but we've decided, I said, hey, once the election hit, I had this feeling, the 2016 election, that things were going to be, I had a feeling it would get really polarized. And instead of trying to play both sides of the fence, I don't know if it would have still worked doing that, what we were doing before. But I thought, well, now's the time to let all you guys that are strong, progressive, comical people to have your say, period, because it seemed like this was such a larger than life figure that had come in to the White House that, you know, it was time to have like a specific stance. So how did you feel about switching over to doing an all progressive show?
An all progressive. Well, I mean, for me, it didn't bother me. I would have been fine with having, you know, some Republicans on, some libertarians. You could have brought in anybody. I'm the type of guy, as long as we can have a conversation, I'm good. No yelling and screaming, no talking over each other. Let's have a conversation. You give your viewpoint, I give mine, and let us, you know, go back and forth, and we walk away still friends. I may not agree with what you're talking about. I may even find it asinine, but I am not going to get, so I'm yelling and screaming at you. That doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
that doesn't work. You know, so doing a progressive show, you know, I mean, okay, so I got, you know, people that, I mean, we're pretty much, even there, it's just a great conversation. It's not just all about being agreeable, but it's a conversation of us talking about what's going on. And matter of fact, it's still coming from a different perspective. People are drawing in different perspectives from a liberal or progressive way of looking at things, because I'm looking at, I might come in talking about Black history. You got another guy coming in, you know, someone coming in from a woman's standpoint. So either way, it wouldn't have bothered me. It didn't have an effect on me either way. I would have still been fine. Whether it was, you know, because we did have, even, you know, we had a few guys that came in, but they didn't want to talk. Even though that, I mean, like doing the Koz Effect, those guys didn't want to talk. We're trying to get you into a debate, and the debate turned into just a flat out argument, you know, and it's just like, well, where's your proof? Are you reading? Are you paying attention to things? What's going on? You know, I mean, I'd have loved if we ended up with some kind of QAnon or conspiracy person. You know, that would have been also hilarious too. But, you know, when people are getting angry, I don't care who you got, Paul, Carl, it could be, you know, progressives or whatever. It just doesn't work. It doesn't go anywhere. You still got to move the conversation forward. And if it stagnates, you're going to have problems. So I would have been fine either way.
Okay. Do you have like a favorite? I know you've done so many of these, but do you have a favorite, either specific time or in general? What topic do you think has been the most interesting, or had some surprisingly good points made because of the discussion?
Well, you know, you got the Black Lives Matter thing. I think that has opened up a conversation. And, you know, a lot of guys didn't know what Black Wall Street was. People didn't know what Jim Crow was. See, I'm a guy, I love history, Carl. I believe that when they say systemic racism, you can't just dismiss Jim Crow and say, oh, well, that doesn't go on anymore. Well, wait a minute. Who said it stopped? Just because you see a few Black people doing well doesn't mean that everything is hunky-dory. Because let me tell you, a lot of those practices, the damage is already done. You know, Citigroup did a study that from 2000 to 2020, discrimination against Black people, just Black people, cost the United States GDP $16.5 trillion. That's 20 years. And you're telling me, so what did Jim Crow do to us? And when I talk about history, I'm not a victim. I don't want to play victim. but I want you to know the truth of, and the pain of my family and the pain of the people in this country. And I don't want it dismissed. Like, oh, well, that's over with. Doesn't happen anymore. It's gone, bro. Don't let it go. Because people benefited from that history. They benefited to the point that they're doing well. Now, if you didn't get your cut, that's on you. But you didn't get judged for the color of your skin, and you did not, you didn't have certain programs. I just found out about blockbusting. Blockbusting was how, like, say, Compton, California, the way Compton came about for Black people being there, the realtors would go to the white people who were at the time that Compton was predominantly white, and would tell them that the Black people are coming to get them to sell their property. And they would sell the property. And when the Black people come in, they would sell the property at a higher price, charge them higher and more interest. A lot of people have no idea what that is. They have no idea what redlining is. And that's why I'm saying that wasn't that long ago, and those things need to be known. And that's where the systemic comes in, because it lasted for so long. No one stopped it. They start, we went on to the war on crime or the war on drugs or whatever, but you didn't stop the basic, because all Black people wanted was to have the same thing the white folks wanted. We didn't want to be judged by the color of our skin, and that's the difference. You don't want people moving out because I'm Black. Why am I being charged more interest? And it's still going on, unless you can, they've had to constantly, focus on it. That's just one point. So I when we start discussing things, it was, I've always been, I didn't need Black Lives Matter. I already knew, whether it be the making of the GI Bill and how far, I've been on several podcasts with guys that had no idea. They didn't know their history. And it's American history. It's not just Black history. It's American history. That don't know anything that's going on and wonder, how did things get the way that they are, and why are Black people where they are? It had to start somewhere. And that's what I've been able to do by doing both your show and doing Dave's show. I'm going to bring to light and shine a light on what's going on and where it is today. And I'm just doing it. Mine is minor compared to, there's so much more history out there that people never knew anything about. It would be like Hidden Figures, right? Who knew that 3 Black women helped homeboy get up on the moon with no computers, no calculators. Those women calculated those numbers in their head. 3 Black women. How come we didn't know about that? No one knew. But all of a sudden, a white woman pops up. Hey, did you know there were 3 Black women that helped them get up? That's history. It's American history, but it was suppressed. It was suppressed, and there's more of it that's been suppressed. There's more of it they don't want you to know, because it makes people they think you're going to blame them for something. No, I want you to know the truth, and the truth will set you free, and it will actually strengthen your relationship with your friends that are probably of other minorities. You have a stronger friendship, I think, by telling the truth, instead of going around wondering or think, oh, well, that doesn't go along anymore and we should just forget about it. No. Like Rick Santorum tried to say that, American culture is not indigenous culture. We're this indigenous. Like, dude, you're an idiot. How could you not say it? Do you understand the Indians are already here? Yeah, their culture is gone because you conquered them and you slaughtered them. That's why you don't know anything. But guess what? If you tell the truth, you don't come out looking like an idiot and you don't piss people off. But that's my way of thinking. I think that's what my favorite subjects were, that we could bring it in, we could have a roundabout conversation. And a lot of guys were open for it to be Erica Shekel. You had, Dave, when I, told them about certain things that they didn't know, it turned into a discussion. Jim Coughlin said the same thing. Ty, I didn't know about Black Wall Street. I had no idea Blacks had progressed like that. Yes. I had to tell them about Bruce over in Manhattan Beach. I don't know if you knew about Bruce over there. I mean, there was a guy by the name of Peck who was the developer of Manhattan Beach, California. And he left land for Black people. And a guy by the name of Bruce bought the land and built a hotel and built a bathhouse for prominent Black people. And they were run out of town by eminent domain and the Ku Klux Klan. And now today they're thinking on giving the family back their land. But that was 1921. And those are things that we bring into light by knowing stuff and bringing on. So that's what it does for me. And that was the difference also between me and the other Black dude that we were talking about. That's the difference.
Okay, awesome. Well, hey, I got plenty here, so I appreciate it. That's all I need right now. And yeah, so anyways, but thanks, I appreciate it. I know you're a busy guy, so and I'll send you this video. I'm sending everybody their whole video so you have it for your own posterity. And then I'm also going to post this on YouTube until I'm ready to edit in a month or two. So,
okay.
Yeah, but thank you.
Thanks, Carl.
All right, take it easy.
You too.
Bye.